Hello and welcome to the Mastermind Podcast.
Preview.
Today's podcast is sponsored by Cleveland Homes, where you dream it and they build it.
Preview. 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 Preview.
On today's episode, we are going to be having an amazing conversation centered around one of the services of the Mastermind. I am super excited about our guest today, and I can't wait for him to introduce himself so the conversation can begin. Welcome to the Mastermind Podcast.
Much.
May I get to know you? May we get to know you?
My name is Manasseh Saaku. I am the CEO, Show Wheels Nigeria.
Fantastic. CEO of Show Wheels Nigeria. Tell us more about Show Wheels.
Okay. Show Wheels is a logistics company. We are based in Abuja. We have a branch in Lagos. Basically, what we do is we solve the transportation problem of organizations, and most of which we think solutions, we provide solutions for their transport, and they pay us later.
Brilliant. So now that we have gotten to know a bit about you, Manasseh, let's have this discussion centered around personal development and growth.
Okay.
How did you get to know about the Mastermind?
Now, it was in 2016. A client, actually yourself, then you were with Remy Partners before, and they changed and became African law practice. You called me and you said, there is a program I will really want you to attend. And, the passion with which you kept insisting I should attend the retreat, I gave in and I said, okay, I'm going to attend the retreat. So I attended the retreat because you insisted. That was for the first time. In 2017, I had a personal issue. I lost my wife in March, particularly March 30th of 2017, and it was a bag of mixed feelings. I was very unstable, still trying to get myself together in my workplace. My schedule was given to another simply because, they noticed this shift in personality, and I was not meeting up target and all of that. So I really needed help. But I was struggling on my own to make sure I somehow meet up. So you called me, Madam Grace. You called me and you said, and then you were a client. So our relationship was client, vendor relationship. And you called me and said, Manasseh, I feel there is a program you should attend. And I said, okay, what is it about? And you went on to tell me good things about the Clarity Retreat. And I gave in. I said, okay, I was going to be there. And sincerely, I got to the retreat seeking direction. Because running a car rental business have always been my dream. So it was not something new. It's just that I've always had this feeling that I needed money, to run things. I needed money to do the business. But at Clarity Retreat, it was a different thing. It was a different thing because I noticed all I needed to do is to have vision. And that with vision, everything is possible. It gave me a new perspective to life. It gave me, I would say, a new reason to live. Because during the exercise, we did something that had to do with the gratitude journal. During the exercise of gratitude journal, I was able to, a lot just came back to me that, Manasseh, you can actually live for, you can live for a lot. You had so much to give. So don't begin to look at it that, you lost Tessie, so life has ended, or, you cannot do any other thing. That you need to give life your best. And I gained that clarity 2017 at the retreat. And it has been an amazing journey since.
Thank you so much, Manasseh, for sharing such a vulnerable moment in your life. It's interesting, looking back, I had no idea you had gone through that and why I placed the call to you. And so I think it's safe to say that that which you were looking for was also looking for you. Because you needed clarity. You had just lost your wife and client calling you to tell you about the Clarity Retreat. Now, you said something about an activity, the gratitude journal, which was part of what you did during the retreat. Can you also walk us through the other activities that you did alongside the gratitude journal?
You see, the Clarity Retreat is a defining moment in the life of attendants, or I would say participants. One of such times that I felt I really, got clarity about something, was when we did something about the wheel of life. You see, in my life, I've been this kind of person that, okay, my focus is on church. Okay, I just want to attend church and then leave every other thing. Okay, now I'm in the office. Let me just focus on work. From work, I go to church. From church, I go back home. So it was just a triangular movement at all times. But during the Clarity Retreat, I noticed that my health and wellness was as important as money and finance. It was as important as family and friends. It was as important, as every other thing. So the wheel of life made me understand that as much as I want to make money, my health must be a priority. As much as I want to keep family and friends close, I should also know that I need money and finance. The time for the business is also there. So every aspect of your life should be given attention so that none of these aspects of your life is lacking behind. So the wheel of life went a long way to help me. And, there's also this area of thinking, doing things from within. Whatever you want to do, you first of all begin to think it from within, and then you bring it out. And I think one of the books we tried to look at in the process was the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Steve Covey. Now, we tried to look at that book, and Coach Victor did justice to, trying to x-ray the book. We tried to summarize it though, but, in that summary, I was able to gain a lot. Even until now, I don't think I've gone past the third stage of those habits, because it's massive work, gaining going into these 7 habits and then operating in them maximally. So I'm still around on the third habit, which is first things first. I'm still around the first this thing, you know.
Awesome, Manasseh. Awesome. So I would like to recall that you jumped on another opportunity to attend the Clarity Retreat again.
Yes, I did. I did.
Why? One would think attending the Clarity Retreat the first time would be sufficient, but you came back again. What pulled you the second time?
First, I will say it was this urge to build it quick and build it better. Something in me just wanted to be, I just wanted to be different. One, I was working for a conglomerate at the time that whatever you did was not too perfect. They give you marketing targets. I was the branch coordinator of Abuja. I had a target of close to 39 million per month as at the time. You can imagine in 2016, 2017, having a target of 39 million, and I had to coordinate marketers and coordinate everybody. And still, as you're doing all of these things, when you meet the target, nobody says thank you. Nobody gives you a commission. Nobody gives you a tap on the back. No. But the month you fail to meet these targets, a query follows immediately. Are you getting it? So I became, I was no longer motivated to work. So after the first Clarity Retreat, I knew definitely what I needed was to be an entrepreneur. I had no reason working for anybody, with the niche I was already able to create. There are customers that could not use the service except they speak to me directly. So I just took advantage of that. So Sure Wheels came to birth in 2018 after the Clarity Retreat of 2017 December. So Sure Wheels came to be in 2018. By September of 2018, Sure Wheels was already bettered. And I needed that clarity to be able to run this business and run it well. So in 2019, December, you told me about the Clarity Retreat again coming up in January of 2020, and I knew that was my opportunity to really get clarity on where we should go from after registration. I have resigned my appointment. We got an office in OC2 then, and we needed to run as a business. So I needed clarity to know, one, our direction. Two, as a person, I have always believed I cannot give what I don't have. So I needed to be able to give that leadership to my drivers, show my customers that we can actually do this. Because most of them just wanted to, they wanted to trust me, but they needed to have a reason to trust me. So I needed all of that clarity. That's why I came for the second time.
And you sure did get the clarity because your business has started and it is doing incredibly well. And I am extremely happy for you.
Thank you.
So, Manasseh, do you think the Clarity Retreat? I know I already know the answer, right? But I want us to hear it from you. Do you think being part of the Clarity Retreat twice was a worthy investment for you?
Wow. You see, something again I picked from the Clarity Retreat, that we are all born with the truth within us. Are you getting it? We are all born with the truth within us. But somehow we convey this truth as we grow. You always need light. The moment light hits that truth in you. So the clarity gives you light. You may have an idea of what you want, but clarity gives you light. And I don't think there is anything you can use to pay for the light, for the revelation you get in this clarity retreats. So it's important that you invest, no matter the amount, to attend clarity retreats.
That statement really hit me hard, like, and I would repeat that statement for emphasis. We are all born with light within us, and we need that clarity to be able to reveal that light.
Yeah.
Manasseh, prior to you hearing about the clarity retreat and having gone through the clarity retreat, I would like to ask you, how would you compare who Manasseh was before and after clarity?
Wow. You see, there may not be facial changes, okay, but definitely the clarity retreats made me bolder, okay, and it gave me certainty. You know, there is nothing that is as good as having precision in what you want to do. When you are precise, when you know exactly where you're headed, it's very, very important. So I would say the clarity retreat birthed a new person, because after from myself before and after the clarity retreat, I would say the difference is too clear. Too clear. You know, the step even to resign my appointment was something that ordinarily maybe I would have been afraid to do so, you know, because many times I tried to do it, but I keep asking myself, what if you resign and then you don't make it out there? What if you resign and then you need to buy vehicles? How much do you have saved? Are you getting it? But during the clarity retreat, I really knew even if I don't have money, even if I don't have one vehicle on ground, all I need is to get out of here. Get out there and be the best I can be. And sincerely, we started as a company. Showwheel started using vehicles that belong to other people. But we didn't do that for up to 1 year. The second year, we got some banks that started coming in, you know, and today buying vehicle is not the issue. Most times we just try to look at should we pay off or should we, you know, pay on installment to be able to have money to run things, you know. So it's the me then and the me now. Oh, the difference is too clear.
Like 7 Up?
Very, very clear. Very clear.
I'm so happy to hear.
Thank you.
Manasseh. I'm so happy to hear. In the clarity retreat, you did mention that it's not just about work alone, but you mentioned other aspects of your life that came into focus for you when you did one of the exercises
Yeah.
referred to as the wheel of
Wheel
life.
of life.
Now, you did share a painful experience of losing your wife, and I'm sure you have some good news you would like to share with us regarding that.
Yeah, of course.
That aspect, because it's not just about getting clarity to tackle your calling, being an entrepreneur, but also other aspects.
Mm.
So if you don't mind sharing.
2020, after the clarity retreat in January, um, I felt a kind of restricted. One, because my wife died leaving, we have 3 boys. The last boy was just 1 year, 3 months when she died. So sometimes you see that I will go to the office, I'm running back home by 3 to make sure he's fine, pick him up from the crèche, go home. I'm with them all through. In fact, my bond with my boys became stronger within that period. But I knew somehow I needed a woman around. And during that clarity retreat, I gained insight. In fact, one of the insights I gained was the confidence to try again despite all that happened. Things happen, yes. It has happened. I needed to move on somehow. So, and at the clarity retreat, I was able to decide, in fact, conclude within me that I was going to remarry. And I remarried to the glory of God after that retreat.
Wow, thank you so much, Manasseh. I mean, I don't know how to put into words what this conversation has done for not just myself, but for the people who will listen. One of the key takeaways is that no matter how hard life knocks you down, you can get back up again.
Yeah.
And especially when you're in that phase where you are in dire need of clarity, when the opportunity comes, you jump at it. What was it that jerked you into knowing that you really needed clarity? Because we have a lot of us walking the streets of life, but we feel like we don't need clarity. We feel like our lives are just fine.
First thing that made me seek clarity was the fact that I knew I could do better. I knew I could do better. I knew somehow that where I was coming from and where I was at the time, if I must go somewhere from there, I needed clarity. And the knowledge I had at the time, I knew that knowledge will not take me anywhere. The truth is, I felt somehow I was trapped by this fear of what if. So sometimes you want to take steps, but you are afraid of taking those steps. And many times I believe a lot with all my heart that if you must venture into anything, the first thing you should look at is not money. The first thing you should look at is vision. If the vision is there, seek clarity. So clarity retreats is recommended for everyone out there that has a vision. Even if you're selling akara, or you're baking bread, or you run a catering service, whatever it is that you do, and you want to move from where you are to where you ought to be, you need clarity. Clarity is key. And that was what I went for.
Clarity is key. Thank you so much, Manasseh.
Thank you.
I love that phrase. Clarity is key, no matter what you're doing. It could be that you are an akara vendor. It could be that you are baking bread. And something you said that really resonated with me is you don't need money. What you need is vision. Money will come after you.
Definitely.
Thank you for such a vulnerable, heartfelt conversation on today's Mastermind Podcast.
Thank you for having me, Madam Grace.
And so that wraps up today's episode of the Mastermind Podcast. If you are in search of clarity, if you are in the dark and you are looking for clarity, I hope today's episode and conversation has nudged you in the right direction to seek clarity. If you found this episode rewarding and enlightening, do share and draw others to the podcast. I would like again to thank our sponsor of today's Mastermind Podcast, Cleveland Homes, where you dream it and they build it.